Welcome back to another episode of Open Mic with Boog Brand, where you can say whatever the fuck you want and we don't care. Hello, hello, hello. We are live on this glorious, glorious Wednesday. Not Friday, Wednesday. So, as some of you who are here know, we typically do this Friday night at 8:30. This week it's a little different. We're still going to do a Friday night show. So come back for that. But we previously had planned to do a pre-recorded episode with Kotaboy here, and then all hell broke loose today. Everybody went full fucking, whatever you want to call it. And I couldn't do that to Kota here and make him sit through what, could have been a great show and know that he couldn't really talk about anything political or in the news. So I said, screw it. I asked him if it was all right. We're here tonight. We're going live, and we can talk about whatever we want because it's not going to go stale with the news cycle that we have here in America. So, real quick rundown in the chat. Looks like we have Dr. Catmilk here, Mario the Mechanic Molina, Operator Tony, Scott from Precision Holsters in the house. Looks like that's pretty much it right now. But hey, you know what? I appreciate everybody stopping by on a Wednesday night, and I appreciate your time too, Kota. I know you're a busy feller, and you got things to do. I appreciate you taking the time to spend a little bit with us.
Oh man, my pleasure, brother.
So,
my pleasure.
If people aren't familiar with who our guest is tonight, I think pretty much everybody here is pretty familiar with you. But Kotaboy32 Tactical on YouTube, at Kotaboy32 on Instagram. You can give the rest of your introduction. I just kind of wanted to give a little quick rundown. So.
Well, hey man. First of all, thank you so much for having me. I had a little bit of some issues with the internet connection when we first started there, but yeah, man. Thanks. And I tell you what an interesting day we had. I want to just first of all thank all the patriots who were up there celebrating their right to peacefully protest. I understand there was starting off, I think there was like a busload of Antifa individuals that showed up, kind of put a little rain on the parade. And then for the most part, I've talked to several friends that told me that it was peaceful protesting. It was there was non-violence. The violence that you're seeing on TV is primarily those individuals who it's just like one or two isolated incidents that the news organizations just continue to it was on a continuous cycle. If you watched it, it was just the same thing right. over and over and over again. So anyway, it's going to be a good topic for conversation this evening, and looking forward to hanging out with you guys, man.
Yeah, definitely. We appreciate you taking the time to spend just a little bit with us. And at the end of the day, what happened today needed to be talked about, I guess, from a standpoint of pragmatism. And I think of all the guests that I've had on, one of the big things that I really do appreciate about you is you're very pragmatic. You don't you don't sugarcoat anything. You're straight to the point, and you're honest with everything that you've put out. So I'm glad that it was you tonight that we have on the show, and for that I'm thankful for you, and like you said, for all those patriots out there doing that, putting yourself on the line, putting your necks on the line, going out and doing what so many people before you haven't. I can't give you, I give you 2 thumbs up, but it doesn't matter. Like, what I'm saying doesn't mean anything because I'm sitting here at home while you guys are out there putting your necks out there. I appreciate it. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, and know that America thanks you for it too.
I'll tell you what, man, it's so we're a gun channel primarily. I'm not here trying to imitate or trying to do something that other channels do, because that's not who I am. But the passion that I have for what's going on is, I get exhausted with it. You hear about things every single day that just really break your heart, and it builds. And I might go 2 or 3 days without doing a video. Child. I
I
don't know
got
if
him
y'all get
too.
to pick that up, but
I got
yeah,
him
that's
too.
my daughter. That's my daughter probably getting beat up by her brother, or she's beating him up and can't understand why he fights back. Well, anyway,
Sounds about
uh,
right.
yeah, there's a lot of passion that's involved in this whole thing. There's a lot of people who do it for some one particular reason or another. But I do it for the passion. I cannot, and it wears me out. I get exhausted with the whole thing. It drives me absolutely insane. But literally, I wake up in the morning and I try to find something that I think that would be interesting to the general public. I want to be original in it. It goes in even into like I'll have someone. Let's just say, for instance, I have a company that will send me this flashlight. And we do all reviews. This is how we start out, man. I remember I used to order stuff off of Amazon when we first started the channel, and all I would do is I would review those little bits and pieces just to establish a rapport. But a company will send you something like this, and what you have to do is you may have it up to 6 months before you'll even do a review on it, because you have to figure out a way of reviewing this product in an original fashion that is interesting to the public. So I got all kinds of neat stuff, but the real passion is what's going on right now with our Second Amendment. It's one of those things that you wake up every morning, you've got a constant bombardment by Michael Bloomberg, Mom's Demand Action Now. We've got some people who are leaving the house right now, but it's just a constant battle for us and our Second Amendment right. So trying to be original and not, is like my good friend. All right, so everybody's like, you need to watch Guns and Gadgets. And Jared's actually a damn good friend of mine. He and I communicate back and forth all the time.
Right.
And you know what? We've gone out and had dinner. But the whole thing is I want to do something a little bit different from what he's doing. I want to be a little bit more political than the normal, just the 2A news. There's only so much Second Amendment news out there.
Right.
And unless you're continuously searching or doing something on the internet all right, guys, my wife has a broken leg and I need to help her real quick.
Not a problem. I'll
I
carry it. It's good.
I will be right back. Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
So so I'll just jump in the chat real quick. Talk to a couple of you. Big fun. Saw you were here. Showtime Mother Lovers. Appreciate you stopping by. Don't think I've seen you in the stream before, but I know who you are. Appreciate it. So back to a couple here. From now on, when Scott Pig is on his Scott Pig account, he shall be known as Bacon. All right. So from now on, Scott, you're Bacon. I'm sure you've heard it before. I'm sorry. Staying warm, says Mark Spivey. To Mario. Now it's party. What you drinking? Who else we got? And yeah, looks like that's it for now. I appreciate, I know this is different coming in on a Wednesday night. Like I said, if you're just catching it, normally we do this Friday night, 8:30 p.m. I had Coda scheduled for a pre-record tonight, and with the news of everything that came on, I just couldn't. I couldn't, in good conscience, do a pre-recorded show. So I appreciate you guys stopping by. I appreciate, everything. So Coda giving us his time tonight. Yeah, it was actually, I believe, Operator Tony said he'd like to have Coda Boy on. I appreciate the recommendation. Obviously, I know who he is. Know what he does, so I definitely was willing to reach out for that. And to that point, if anybody ever has any suggestions or comments about who we should have on the show, feel free to reach out to us. Openmic.boogbrand.com is where I post up the actual blogs, and then don't forget, you can click up that subscribe button, the notification bell. It doesn't hurt my feelings if you do it. It doesn't hurt my feelings if you don't do it. I just like to have a good time, and if you guys like to have a good time with us, you click that button and join right along. So what we got? Don't we all love bacon? We all love bacon, Operator Tony. We all love bacon. So Mario, same to you. Yeah. So it's sad she died. Are we talking about the? Are we talking about the girl who got shot in the neck? Um, very sad. Um, yeah, needlessly lost her life. Yeah, the 17-year-old girl. Mark Spivey said it. My heart is broken for that family and friends. The 17-year-old girl. Yeah, my heart goes out to that. The only thing that I will say, and it may be controversial, is that um, today when everybody stormed the Capitol, I have a very good feeling that the people who were involved knew the risks involved, and they knew what they were heading into. This wasn't, they weren't storming the local Walmart. They were storming Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C., amongst security and guards and everything that's all there. Um, the fact that it was only the one loss of life, as far as I'm aware, I know there was discussion that there was possibly two injured. Um, I was able to get my hands on video from the incident. I refuse to show it. I'm not going to stoop to that level to show. Number one, it didn't have any gore in it, so it would be acceptable on YouTube. But I'm not going to show videographic, footage of the thing that caused somebody to lose their life. So I guess I like to think that I have a little bit higher standards than that. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I know my standards can be pretty low sometimes, but um, from my perspective and what I see happen today, I think it was a great great show of patriotism. Um, yeah, Mark Spivey said in the chat that Donut Operators live cast hit over 61,000 while DC Poop was hitting the fan. Yeah, I was in there for a little bit. I think he had about 58,000 when I was in there, and I mean, he does a good job. He did a good job of non-biasly digging through all the crap, which it was hard to find because there just wasn't a lot of video going around. Everything was all on social media. So, um, yeah, Mario says it's my show. Do whatever I want. It is my show, but I think it's partially your guys' show too. I just refuse to. I refuse to do it. I mean, it doesn't need to be replayed. It doesn't need to be shown. Like yeah, Mark says, agreed. It doesn't need to continually replay. Um, we don't need to see all that stuff, to know what happened today and know that the loss of life sucks no matter what side it's on. So Coda's back. We're just discussing.
Sorry about,
No, not a
sorry
problem.
about that, guys. Yeah, so if you're not familiar with my channel, my wife, the night of New Year's Eve, took a bad step down on our main floor. My great room was like a dance floor, and she cracked her tibia in half. And we went straight to the hospital via ambulance, and she went into surgery the next day. 2 nights in the hospital, and now she's home, but she's got to use a walker and a lot of pain, and she's got to go to the bathroom. Well, then I've got to be there to help her, and
Well, and that's what we do as husbands, right? When they gotta go, we gotta help. We help.
Shit, hold on, stop it. What are we doing? All right. So while I was helping my wife, I just did a little quick announcement to my viewers to get their asses on over here and join the party. So hopefully we'll see some people start joining. It'll be really cool.
Perfect.
I'd
Yeah.
like to see about 800 or 900 folks on this thing. That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
That'd be incredible. So, I don't actually anticipate a huge crowd. I think it's awesome. It looks like we got the first one coming in. Hey, Frank Baxter, definitely a name I haven't seen before, coming probably from your side. So,
well, I tell you what's really cool is that I've got a very unique crowd. I know I remember guys that started with me on the channel from day one, and I try. I mean, unless it's one of those videos where you've got a couple 100,000 viewers and you just got people, I recognize every single name, and I read almost every comment. And the emails are hard to get, and then people send me stuff on Facebook, which I don't really even check. I can't. Um, so it's a lot of fun to to socially, get to know these folks, and it is a blast. And as your channel grows, you will see, you'll recognize people from years ago, that will that you hey, they've been with you from the very beginning. So it's special when they comment.
Right.
Um, yeah. So yeah, Jeff, as a matter of fact, that the only person that was killed by a police officer, and she was a female. It really sucks. So anyway, I just,
Right.
what happened today? Again, what's up, Big Johnson? Big Johnson, just an FYI, I just saw that Merry Christmas message you sent to it. It went to my company phone, not my personal phone. So Happy New Year, happy belated Christmas, and all the other stuff. But yeah, you know what those guys did. They went out there. They exercised their First Amendment right. For the most part, everyone peacefully protested. So I don't have an issue with what happened out there at all. I do hold an issue. I wish the guys hadn't have jumped up into the Capitol building. But you know what? Some guys are they're a little overzealous, and I'm not going to blame them for that either. But man, what a day! I got friends of mine that were there at like 5 a.m. this morning, and the place was packed at 5 a.m. So, it's just crazy. TB, I'm doing good, man.
Yeah, no, and yeah, you definitely brought a lot of people in here, and I appreciate it. So all the new faces, welcome. I hope we can meet some of your standards. So
yeah, man, I tell you what, in about a couple of minutes, why don't we do this? As people come in, hopefully we'll get some more. But as people roll in, do a quick intro of yourself. I mean, I'm not trying to hijack your channel.
No, it's and it's okay, because I mean, I've had bigger guests on before, and I don't really ask them to promote it too much, just because it's like it is what it is. If they want to promote it, I appreciate it. If not, it doesn't matter, because I do this for the conversations.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
That's why when I was helping my wife, I just, you know what? Let me just do this real quick.
That's awesome.
So it's what I like to. Here's the whole thing. Also, bigger channels, I think, should do their utmost at helping the younger channels. And I say younger. I know a lot of older channels than mine that have a lot less subscribers, but that doesn't mean anything. You always use your exposure and the rest of the things that you have at your availability, I guess is what I'm trying to say, but to help the younger or the smaller channels grow, because I don't care what anybody says, man. You always want to grow. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm not even sugarcoating it. I absolutely want to grow. I mean, I use this as a way to have conversations with interesting people, and then to also kind of advertise for my business. So that's what I do, and that's why I do this. So to me, it's fun that way.
Tell me a little bit about your business. What is your business? Talk to me.
So what I do generally is, I mean, it's obviously the name of the channel, Boog Brand, is actually the name of my clothing apparel. So I'm very similar to some of the other clothing apparels that are out there. I'm trying to get off the ground, get started. Mostly I started it as a means of increasing my portfolio for graphic design. So it was something I wanted to get into. I don't have a traditional education in graphic design, so I decided, you know what, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to do this, I'm going to increase my portfolio and do what I want to do, and kind of have a little bit of fun in the process. I started the business about a month and a half before COVID decided to shut everything down.
Yeah.
So it's been interesting to struggle through it, number one, on that perspective, but another, all the censorship, all the cancel culture, all the crap that goes along with being a conservative and having, Second Amendment positive views, this and that. I think it took all of 48 hours for Facebook to completely block out my Pixel account, block out my advertising capabilities. Google was shortly thereafter. So it was like, all right, my traditional advertising avenues for what I'm doing are out of the way. I can't deal with any of those. So
Yeah.
try something different. So I
Well,
decided I'm going to start a YouTube channel, but I also linked up with a couple people that I knew in the social media world and said, hey, I'll make your merchandise for you or whatever.
mhm.
So like I have a reaction channel that I make merchandise for, and then Moose66 on Instagram. I make his merchandise, and um, it doesn't really pay the bills, but it helps get the word out there about what I'm doing. So
I
um,
hear you.
like I said, I started it as a way to build my portfolio, and then I guess out of spite, I decided, screw it, I'm gonna make this a viable thing because you people keep trying to shut it down, so it's worth saying.
Yeah.
So
Well, I tell you what, I've got a good friend of mine who's got a good business started. Um, and and I told him, I said, you might want to go ahead and get your PayPal account set up and everything else like that. And I just realized, I said, well, uh, if you're in the gun industry, you're not going to be using PayPal for very long.
yep, yep. I will actually say, um, from a standpoint of vetting, I've gone through quite the process because they literally yanked my first payment processor out from underneath me
Mm,
at 9:30 in the morning on a Friday, heading into a sale weekend. So I had no way to process payments. I had a PayPal set up, and I was able to use that through the process. But there's nothing that will damage your business's reputation more than not being able to accept a credit card outside of PayPal.
yeah,
Um,
I just, I was like, and it's so funny because we deal with a lot of companies um, that if I get paid a commission on a sale, the way they transfer the money is PayPal. And I'm just like, I don't know if it's an accessory business or whatever, but I know if it's gun related, um, Vogue Tactical, there's a range up the road here that they hold the money for 6 months, and then they can all of a sudden turn around and go, oh, well, we've decided, and it's in our guidelines or our bylaws or whatever of your agreement, that we can confiscate those monies,
yeah,
which I think is absolutely asinine,
yeah.
crazy.
So from that standpoint, one thing I will suggest looking into is Converge. Um, I don't promote them. I'm not a partner for them. I don't make any money for it, but um, it's actually they're the online payment affiliate for U.S. Bank Corp.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I vetted a couple different payment processors to try and make sure that I wasn't going to go through this whole issue again. And U.S. Bank was actually really interested in the business. They asked what I do, anything like that, and at the end of it, it came down to literally they're like, okay, so the only thing people really have an issue with generally is guns and porn. And she's like, do you sell either of those? I said,
That's,
no, I don't sell either of those. And she goes, okay, well, you could. And I'm like, okay, you're my bank.
oh, well, shit, man. Hey, can I give a real quick shout out to a couple of people?
Yeah, absolutely.
First of all, there's a channel, and I love that he's got one of the coolest channel names. And I know it's not a channel; he's just using it. But the name is Asshole Shark Dude. And every time I see it, I spend the rest of the day singing Asshole Shark do Asshole Shark do.
Yeah,
And
you
then
got to have kids to
yeah,
understand that one.
yeah, and then there's Insight Freedom. We got Big Johnson Fuss Fork, Allenby Pros out there. Uh, let's see, we got Till Valhalla. He's out there. Still hauling around your thing in my car that I got to send to you one of these days. I'm the worst. And that's just a name a few who are out there. But I would just want to say a big thank you for you guys for coming over here and supporting Boog Brand. He's a cool guy. But let's get it back to what happened today. Everybody was out there peacefully protesting. I kind of dig the, uh, the attack on the Capitol building. I especially like the guy that was sitting at Pelosi's desk. He's my fucking hero. Excuse my French, but good God,
Yeah,
how?
coming in there with the horns on, just
Yeah, yeah, the freaking Viking dude, man.
yeah.
I tell you
So
what.
It's been confirmed from a couple different sources. So he's made appearance before
Oh yeah.
in different places, dressed very much the same. So this is kind of how he's been going around, just playing it. But I guess the last time that I can confirm that he was at a rally or anything like that, he was counter protesting at a BLM rally in Tempe, Arizona. So
Uh-huh.
um, just to say that, like, this guy, these people out here, they came from far and wide. So I don't know if he's from Tempe, Arizona, or he's from someplace else, but these people are putting up their own money, they're ponying up their own abilities to travel, and they're going out there and doing this. So for that, I appreciate it. Like, that's
They're saying that the Viking dude was Antifa. So I don't know if that's true. Here's the whole thing. Like I said earlier, man, I try to stay isolated to the politics that are at hand right now. Uh, this can I? You don't mind if I
you can
use
say whatever
look,
you want to say on our
these
channel. We don't care.
fucking Antifa assholes. Um, they'll show their ass and try to make anybody look bad, and that's their job. That's all they do. That's all they mean to do. They have no reason to be in this country other than to show their ass, bitch, moan, and groan. If that guy was an Antifa dude, well, fuck him. So what's up, Stacks from Charlotte, North Carolina?
So
Love that. What's up,
so
DW?
so Hailstorm in the chat says that there will be no outrage over the unarmed young lady being shot and dying. I don't disagree with that. Unfortunately, I don't think there will be a lot. As I was saying before, a lot of you came in here was, I think that when these people decided to storm the Capitol Hill, there was an understanding that this is a possibility. They will
Uh-huh.
defend Capitol Hill with whatever means necessary, and to get people out of there. I don't agree with them literally shooting blindly through a door.
Is that what happened?
From the video that I saw, it's hard to tell. There's really no evidence or anything either way. The door that I saw in the video had glass on it. So
Okay.
they were able to see. The first pictures that I saw come out was two guys pointing through the crack of a door, just basically shooting. Um, I don't know which is which is true. Um, the fact of the matter is somebody lost their life today, and it's tragic. But
Yeah.
the fact that a million people in Washington, and it's a million confirmed, that's possibly 3 million unconfirmed people in Washington, D.C., went
Well,
off
I will tell
mostly
you this, man.
peaceful.
I've talked to several people who were up there, and they have, told me that they've never seen that many people in a one location. Josh Benware's on board. I just want to give him a real quick shout out, man. He's one of the guys that helped me open my eyes to the thing called the Olight disaster. Um, and I used to promote Olight. They were pretty aggressive. Just to let you guys know, man, you can't hardly find anything that's not made in China these days. I do a lot of stuff from Holosun, Primary Arms, and if you look underneath it, it's fucking right there. It is made in China.
Right.
But what I can't stand is when a company just saturates the market so much that all my favorite YouTubers were, throwing the Olight commercials up on a monthly basis. So I pretty much quit that shit. And Josh Ben was the one that raised my awareness and my senses up enough to where I was able to make an educated decision not to go there. So anyway, so yeah, back to the rally. The thing was huge, and I wouldn't doubt that. And looking at the videos, I would love to see a satellite photo.
Right. I know that I've seen a couple like drone footage captures, people going up and trying to like get to the front of the line. Um, I've heard people talking about where they were at Liberty Park when they decided to march to Capitol Hill. It was literally a 50-foot walk, and the front of the line was at Capitol Hill. So it was really, they didn't walk anywhere. It was kind of just they were there. So I guess a testament to everybody that was out there. Like I said, there was 1 million people confirmed to be there. There was up to 3 million people, unconfirmed. And for that many people to be in one single place, and the only loss of life during a storming of the Capitol like that was unfortunately this girl, it's a miracle. It's a minor
Oh
minor
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
miracle.
And you know what? So if you saw the multiple shots they were showing on the mainstream media, including Fox News, other Tim Davis is in the house. All right, so Rich 1911, and there he is again, asshole shark, dude, 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 dude. I love shit. Yeah. So in any case, I was watching the pictures they were showing, and they had the Capitol Police, and we used to call them CSO, Court Security Officers, because I've worked with federal government for quite a while. And I just want to comment on their lack of trigger etiquette. Those jackasses, if you watch the video, as a matter of fact, I'm going to do a video probably in the morning, and it's going to be talking about this exact subject. But if you look at the picture of these guys, every single one of those assholes have got their finger on the trigger. And that's, if you do any real life training, and people are like, well, cops are highly trained. No, they're not. These fucking assholes probably go shoot, what, twice a year, maybe 4 times a year. If you're in SWAT, you're lucky enough to go train once a month. But these assholes have got their fucking shit on the trigger. And you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if it's one of those dumbasses let one loose without meaning to.
Yeah.
You know, it had to, in my mind, had to be a dumbass motherfucker, excuse my French, who had his booger picker on the trigger, and he was thinking of his old girl at home, and he got excited and popped one off. And that's how it happens. The guy was probably a dumbass. So I fucking, you know what? That girl needed to be memorialized in more ways than one. And sure as shit, I'm going to do it. God,
Right.
what's up, ugly prepper?
So Sandra Miller, or Sandy Miller in the chat, says she was not 17. She was 38 years old and a 17-year veteran of the Air Force. Regardless of her age, regardless of all that, and that may be very true. There's a lot of information. Like I said, this is why I couldn't do a pre-recorded show, because this information is going to come in, it's going to change. But you know, regardless of whether she was 17 or she was 717 years old, the loss of life is tragic, and the same thing stands. You know, these people were not handling their weapons properly. Just the fact, like you said, that they did show that, you know, that the 2 guards pointing literally through the door, literally ready to rock.
What are you pointing the gun at?
They have no idea.
Pointing the gun at?
That's, you know, that's the thing. You don't know what's beyond the point of your gun, and you're gonna squeeze that trigger.
So you remember the Breonna Taylor deal a while back, probably about 3 or 4 months ago, and one of the cops that they actually did charge was one of the guys who just shot randomly in through a window just to shoot.
Right.
Okay. Now, guys, don't get me wrong. I'm a pro police dude, man. I'm pro blue. But I have personal friends of mine who think like I do. Okay, they are constitutionalists. They preach the Constitution. There's assholes out there. So you know, you've got dumb and especially Capitol Police. They don't train. They put a uniform on. They go and they hang out they're like court security officers. I've seen one CSO killed in my lifetime because some jackass fucking got the gun away from them and shot them. But the thing is these are usually retired police officers. They don't do anything. These aren't damn Secret Service agents over there. But it chaps my ass that shit happened, and you got assholes pointing guns through a damn frosted glass window. They can't see shit, but boy, I swear to God, they're ready to shoot somebody.
Yeah, and to be fair, I mean, I get being on edge. I get if your job is security at Capitol Hill, and you have no idea what's coming your way, and being on edge, but you still have to practice proper discipline. You still have to be responsible for every shot you pull. It's just basic. It's basic policing, and these are supposed to be some of the best trained in the industry.
No. I'm talking about Capitol Police. All right, so Sheepdog Jax is talking about DC Police. Totally 2 different things. Capitol are federal employees. DC are employed by the District of Columbia. Those are police officers. But what struck me as being absolutely funny as shit is that you see this whole line of these guys in the riot gear, and you got a lady up there just like, so I was thinking about making chicken and dumplings tonight to celebrate. So. Would you like to come over to the house? And then that's it. And you got a whole lot of guys over there. I saw one police officer, Capitol Police, with his big ass cop hat on. Somebody had their damn hand on the fence. He walked up and tagged the shit out of him. That's the kind of crap. Z50, what's up, brother? I think you and I were talking about the kinetic development stuff a little while ago, and maybe it was you. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it was. But anyway, I don't have any problems with that. But yeah, sheepdog. But the whole thing is I've never seen a cop walk up and freaking slug someone like that.
Yeah.
I was telling my wife, I said, that's out of fucking line right there. That is absolute bullshit. That somebody should have had a damn baseball bat taken up the side of his head. Now, y'all probably hear me. I'm just, I'm talking because I'm pissed because these assholes, and I'm talking about some of them. I'm not talking about all of them. But man, I tell you what.
Yeah. No, and some people in here, DC Police, Sheepdog says DC Police are a joke coming from conservative Tennessee Sheriff Deputy, also National Guardsman. What a sad display. I agree to some extent, but you got, at the same time, I've talked to a bunch of police officers who've dealt with a lot of shit, and my cousin is a sheriff's deputy in Milwaukee County. So they
Dude, okay, so one of my assignments, federal building in Milwaukee. Okay, when I'm a good old Southern boy, man, I'm rolling up in there in Milwaukee. I'm like, how y'all done? Well, Garmin back in the day, when you had your little what's the thing that shows you how to drive around? They don't tell you that they don't differentiate between safe neighborhood and bad neighborhood. They just give you a route. And I shit you not, dude. I was putting vests on. I was packing guns on my lap. I was like, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
And Milwaukee is unique.
We lost 2 of our marshals up there as well as a police officer while I was there. So it sucked.
Yeah, Milwaukee is no joke. Like a lot of people, like you hear about Chicago and all that shit. Milwaukee is a spillover of Chicago. And it's really a unique. It's really a unique fucking city, in the fact that it's literally like you can go 2 blocks in any direction and be completely safe. But if you're in that fucking core center, you are fucked. And especially once the sun goes down.
I worked at the federal building, Dirksen building in downtown. Like I was in the loop. My apartment, and I live in the South, but I flew back and forth every week. But my apartment was on Lakeshore Drive. So I purposefully put myself in a position where I didn't have to worry about it because I walked to work back and forth. Even in it was cold as hell, I walked in the headway system on the ground. So my partner was a lifetime Chicagoan, and so the lease was running out on my apartment, and I went to go look for another one. I said, he goes, where you at? He called me up during the day because we were night shift. I said, down here in Lincoln Park. No, Hyde Park. Lincoln Park is where I moved to. But I was looking for an apartment down in Hyde Park. He goes, hey, man, get back on the train and head back to town. Why? These people are so nice, man. They've offered to hold my bag, my wallet. They're just as cool as shit, But in any case, I didn't have to worry too much about being in that position. But Chicago is a shithole. In the wrong location, get west side, and I was up in my second location where my apartment was in Lincoln Park, which was really cool because it was up there by the stadium. I want to answer a question real quick to Rex. He's on here, and one of the things that he made a comment was about the Second Amendment, and then the assault weapons or sporting rifles, as I like to call them, and then we were talking about mail online order stuff. Guys, I think it's my opinion that we went through this shit when Obama had the Senate and the House. I think that there's enough individuals who are on the Democrat side that they're probably not going to fall in line with the anti-gun vote. Not to say that they might push something through, but I don't think we have as much to worry about as what the people are doing. Now, I'm not to say that this guy has a full-blown anti-gun agenda and that there are more anti-gun. Hold on. Hold on. I got a dog trying to crawl on top of my wife. Those damn dogs, I swear to God, man.
They don't know the difference. They just think it's fun.
They're like, I want to go blah blah blah. So I don't know, man. Rex, here's the thing. You're talking about registration of your American sporting rifle. Don't register the damn thing. Okay? I mean, it's as simple as that. We're talking about a civil disobedience when you're talking about that. What are they going to do, man? They come and take your home? They're going to put you in jail for 10 years, $10,000 fine. Here's what I would do. I'd buy one lower. And in all honesty, people are like, I wouldn't register shit. And I said, in reality, if you shoot 3-gun or you're shooting competition or anything else like that, and you're going out in public and you've got your AR, you're going to have to do something if they go to that length. So, I mean, here's what I would suggest is if you've got, I don't know, 50 or 60 AR-15s laying around that I don't think about. I mean, this is funny as shit. Right here on my desk, there's 3 AR barrels. So I'm doing a lot of politics, but man, I'm building the shit out of some ARs. And I have maxed out a credit card because I went ahead and I bought everything I possibly could. Register one, and you're covered. In the state of North Carolina, that's where I'm at. I don't have to produce a bill of sale for anything. I can say I sold my entire lot on my front lawn yesterday.
Right.
Go fuck yourself. Okay. We don't have this whole thing. If you think about it, one of the reasons why they want you to report first of all, they want you to register the firearm. Okay. Then secondly, if it's lost or stolen, you have to report it as such. Or if you sell it, you have to transfer it. Okay. Then what happens is that if in the event you do that boating accident, I lost them all, and you report them as lost. This is in those states like California. Then what happens is that they go, you know what? That's gone, that's lost, that's lost, that's lost. But what happens is if you are found with that same firearm 5 years down the road, then you are in unlawful possession of a firearm. Okay, because it's not registered and you reported it as lost or stolen or sold. They got you. They got you by the balls.
Right.
So take one, register it, and keep all the rest of them. Tell them you sold the motherfuckers or you lost them or whatever.
Right. Yep.
There it is.
And I think a portion of that too, like, and coming back to what happened today, the old saying is that the government should fear their people. The people should not fear the government.
Exactly.
A long time ago, the government stopped fearing its people. And that's where we ended up giving up a lot of this power. So today, I think there's a little bit of whoa, okay.
Yeah,
We heard you.
We heard you. What are you doing here?
Yeah. This finally was pushed to the point where we weren't just going to sit still. And this is what happened. And it happened with minimal violence. So now you take all those people who are trained, all those people who have weapons, all those people who didn't bring them to this event today, and you push just a little bit fucking harder. What do you think's going to happen?
Yeah.
They showed finally, and I'm going to say this from a standpoint of, I've been involved with the Patriot movement for a long time. A lot of those people sit by the sidelines and do nothing, and I'll piss them off and say it. I don't care. They know it. For the most part, they're all just sitting there touting their little shit in their fucking websites, their forums someplace, and they never do anything. These kids out here, these people, and I'm not even, it's not just kids. I mean, a lot of them that you're going to see on the news, It's kids. They're running around with the Kekistani flag. It's all fun and games. But everybody who was standing outside of that Capitol, if you look at it versus what the left does, they were standing there in solidarity. They weren't running around. This was a uniform. These people had it planned, regardless of whether anybody wants to admit it. It was orchestrated. We are going to do this, and we're going to do it peacefully, and this is how we're going to do it. And they did it.
Yeah. So I want to answer a question about the 4473. So basically what has to happen, a gun store, right, has to store a paper version of the 4473 for the duration that their business is in business. Now, if in the event that, yeah, Patrick Smith, I'm not saying who knows, man. You can disagree with me, and I will probably go, man, I'm on board with what that is. But the 4473 has to stay with the dealer for the duration of their business. If they go out of business, then they have to box them all up and they have to send them in to the ATF, and where they're supposed to stay boxed up. They're not allowed to scan. They're not allowed to digitize. They're not allowed to do nothing. Is that 20 years, Tundra? He knows, man. So, so in any case, the big deal is that for instance, if you're in California, your 4473 means a little bit more because you have to register to every damn thing under the sun. Okay, North Carolina, it's a piece of paper. We don't register shit. Okay, there's no registration of a firearm. So what happens is, like I said, unless you're forced to register the firearm, then just don't. That's the whole thing. And yeah, this is for joking purposes only, but don't register anything. And my wife, when we first met, was not a very pro-gun person. She was like, "We're not gonna have any guns in the house." Yeah. So, but I will never forget when the first time something about registration, she looked at me, she goes, "You ain't registering shit." My wife's a fucking patriot, and I love her.
Right. That's awesome.
Daniel God is my judge is in the house. Go ahead with the comment there.
Yeah, so Patrick says, I disagree, KB32. I think the left will go whole hog blazing to act as fast as they can to enact all of their plans, in particular gun bans, online sales, ammo, taxes, everything. I think they will too. I just don't think, I think after today, there's going to be a little bit of pause for concern. They're going to think about things a little bit before they just start pushing shit through because, like I said, all this happened today without anybody reaching for a fucking sidearm. All this happened today without a bullet being shot from anybody on the side of the Patriots. So this was just overwhelming show of force, and they had no choice but to comply. So we showed that we don't need the military to force compliance. They need it. They called in the National Guard. They did everything they could. They've got the police out there. And they're the ones that are armed, not us, and we're doing it. So to everybody who says too that, oh, the government's got tanks, the government's got this, you can't do anything about it. Who do you think drives those fucking tanks? Mm-hmm. It's not the government, it's the people. So when it comes down to it, there's videos, people literally coming up to police barricades and the police going, "Here you go."
Yeah, they're talking to them.
Right.
They're people. I mean, the cops are openly just chatting. They're not being spit. No one was spitting in the police's face. And that's the whole difference. And I think I saw some stuff later on where some fireworks were being thrown around. But to be perfectly honest with you, I think that probably wasn't our crowd because everybody on our side who were hanging out were again peaceful. But what chaps my ass is this dude or this individual who pulled the trigger and killed Ashley Babbitt. He's going to have hell to pay because he did something he was not supposed to do. Use of lethal force for something like this? Did he see a weapon? I mean, I don't know. Who's in conjecture? I will probably say no. If she's a 14-year career U.S. Air Force person, she knows probably better than that. I know I would. Well, they're the Air Force. I'm just a dumb Army guy. Go ahead with that comment.
Yep. George Treepwood said, "Don't drink the Kool-Aid, don't register shit. Half these friends and allies will collapse like a cheap tent." And it's true.
Mhm.
If anybody has that information of who she is, too, by the way, I'm just throwing this little banner up there at the bottom. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong with the spelling of her name. It's just a little something. It's not nearly what she needs, but it needs, her name needs to be out there if she is the first to die in this basic revolution that probably will end where it is, but I think
It just, I'm sorry, but I got to say this, man. And I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt you.
no.
But these Antifa, Black Lives Matter, they can go around and burn damn cities down, and not one cop has killed those guys in the act. Okay, they're always reacting to somebody getting shot or something else. But this individual was protesting, and I don't know. I'm gonna stop there, man. I'm so pissed off. I can't even stand it about this. This is horrible.
It's absolutely horrible, and to the whole point of what happened today, like said earlier, no, I don't think anybody ever thought they were gonna get as far as they did.
Holy shit, Pop's Quest is here. I'm sorry, that's one of my best friends, man. He hates talking about this kind of stuff.
I think a lot of people do, and I think some of that comes from the older generation of, there are three things you don't talk about. Politics, pussy, and religion. So
all right, well, I talk about the second one all the time. My favorite subject of all time. So
yeah, so I mean, I think that's part of that, and a lot of people don't enjoy talking about it. And politics in general is very mind numbing, especially nowadays, because it consumes everything. It consumes everything that we are as people, and part of that is because it's all over social media. And unfortunately for everybody here, social media rules everybody's life. We try to avoid it as much as possible. I'm sure most of the people here do, but there's just things you have to use it for, and unfortunately that's the way it is. So I know, like, for me, my uncle passed away. I wouldn't have known he passed away if it wasn't for Facebook. Like, really? You can't fucking call somebody anymore?
Yeah, well, right now, shit, I'm a slave to YouTube. And I get up in the morning and I try to think of something good. I've got a stack of products over here I got to do reviews on. You want to come up with something cool, but the social media thing, this is one of the reasons why people send me stuff all the time on Facebook, but I don't really, I can't do Facebook anymore. I don't even know how to work it. I can't even find my own photos.
Even once you get used to it, they change that interface on that so goddamn much, it's not even funny.
Yeah. So I don't know. And then I think one of my favorites is Instagram, just because they've got hot chicks on there, and I like to look at bikinis. But I do communicate with a lot of people in the firearm community on Instagram. I'm Dimitri over there at Primary Arms. I'm over there. Talk stuff all the time.
Right.
Get emails back and forth. Got a good friend of mine, retired SF guy. He and I communicate back and forth all the time. He sends me stuff all the time. And it's another one of the cool pieces of information that I do receive stuff from people that I like to use. I mean, Fuzzy Fork, he's one of my favorites, man. I love that guy. He's still up here, man. He's a wonderful genuine. Tundra Tactical, that guy right there, he gives me a hard on every time I see him. It's just it's just amazing.
Is it the beard? Is it the beard?
It's the beard. I rubbed on it one night, and it was just. I will tell you a story, and he will back me up on this one. We were out in Vegas, and I was so tired. I walked up to my room, and Tim Davis, you're awesome, man. I do too, I think. But anyway, so I was up in my room. I think it was one of the last nights. Yeah, as a matter of fact, it was the last night there, and I was sitting in the bathtub with a bottle of Johnny Walker Black. And he calls me up and he says, "Hey, man, we're downstairs at the Mexican restaurant." I'm like, shit. So here we go. I remember getting there. I don't remember going to bed that night. And I think we were doing tequila shots. Were you there? I mean, anyway. Oh man, it was
It's
what
fun.
good times,
It's
man.
always
These are
fun,
good
and you
times.
know that's something you guys aren't gonna have this year with Shot Show now, right? You know, everybody.
Well,
How are
well,
you actually gonna miss Shot Show, or are you just gonna miss the people at Shot Show?
I'm gonna tell you something. To be honest with you, after being there a couple times, you just miss seeing the people. Shot Show it's work to me. It's work. I mean, to be honest with you, um, here's a bag right here with business cards and stickers from last Shot Show that I have yet to even touch because the year has been so busy for us. But what I do enjoy is I will tell you a funny secret. No, it's not, Pops. Um, on the way out there, we were flying out, and I always bring my own booze on the airplane. Don't ask me how. Uh, but I drank a fifth of scotch, and then looked to my left. This girl that was sitting next to me kept talking to a guy that was on the aisle seat, and I was like, "Y'all want to just switch?" And she's like, "Yeah." And then the guy sitting next to me was Larry Vickers that I was over next to. And I was drunk as three skunks, man. And I was like, I used to jump out of airplanes too, Larry. He had to take his headphones off to listen to me. Poor guy. We finally got into Vegas, and he was talking to some mutual friends, and he was like, "Y'all know this guy?" And he only lives right down the road from us. But the people is what I like. And one of the things that people are going to be doing this year is doing like a virtual shot show. So it's like you set up tables in your backyard or something like that and act like you're at SHOT Show, and you're talking to folks. But it's going to be interesting to see how things progress. But that's how they're doing. Alan B. Pro is a really good friend of mine, so I love that dude.
Yeah, I'm having fun listening to the chat here too. Like a lot of these people, like Tundra talking about the Shot Show too. I've talked to him about it. I think I actually talked to him about it when he was on our show too, about the people and everything like that. And what's really been interesting to me is coming into this community, the gun tuber community, I guess you could say. I never intended this to be a gun tuber show or anything like that. It was just the people that I knew, and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna start here, and we'll see where this goes. And that's still the kind of the thing, but it's like the community is unbelievable. Like everybody I reach out to is like, yeah, I'll do it, or oh man, I can't do it this week, or I can't do it next week, but pencil me in for something coming up, and
well, yeah. So, and I don't mean to interrupt
that's
you,
fine.
but I did. So I got into the YouTube thing because I just saw a video and then I was like, I can do this. I wanted to do that. But I will tell you this right now. So I've mentioned a couple of people who were over there, who I've actually met personally, and we've flown in from all over to go, Pop's Quest, Rich, Big Johnson's in there. I'm sure that if Alan B. Pro, haven't met him, but I remember the one night he decided to turn gay on us. And it's okay if gay's your way, dude. It's okay. But there's so many people out there that you just develop a relationship and friendship. I mean, I was on the phone with Pop's Quest earlier today, talking about stuff. Man, what a great guy. Kind of a mentor, believe it or not, in the YouTube world for me, because that was the first group of folks that I ever got tied into. It was awesome. Armament and Axis, met him through Tim Taven, whatever the hell his name is. The other Tim Davis, I've actually, he flew in all the way from Nebraska or wherever the hell he's from to watch us shoot a 3-gun event down in Florida. It's a great, great world, this thing called Farmageddon. And that's what you really got to, and this is going back to your ties and the friendships and things like that, is that don't never lose sight of where you were or how you started or the people you grew up together in the business. You know, it's just one of those things. It's absolutely awesome. Go ahead with that comment.
Yeah. So what's up here says Pence is a traitor. I will never vote for any of those Republicans. The only ones that will get my vote are the ones that back Trump. What do you think about that? I know I have my own opinion about what went on today and what kind of happened. But what are your thoughts kind of on that?
You know, every one of these assholes is watching their own back right now. I think that every politician has made mistakes. I think that everybody has done some crazy things in their lives or whatever. But I will tell you, the thing about Trump that we will always remember is when that sumbitch said he was going to do something, he did it.
For the most
Hell
part,
or high water, he did it. There was no wishy-washy. I'm gonna build a wall. Motherfucker built a wall.
right.
I'm gonna, we're gonna raise the damn what do you call it? The shit, the taxes when people come in the country. What tariffs? We're gonna raise the tariffs, and we're gonna kill China. We're gonna put them in their place, and he did it. It's just that's the difference between a person like Trump and people hate him because of it, but he did it, and people hate him for it. But the public loves him, except for those with their hands out waiting for their fucking, and they don't know well enough to understand that this guy created a job, a workforce, a jobs environment in this country that was unsurpassed in our history. Amazing. And it's the same dumbasses who sit there and they fucking get coddled by these freaking politicians. Like, if you vote for me, I'm going to put a free Coke machine in the break room.
Right.
All right. Go ahead.
So my whole thing, and I'm right there with you. My whole thing with what happened today with Pence, is that he covered his ass, and that's what's happening with all of these fucking politicians. And the fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, they're all politicians. So
yeah.
That's part of why everybody voted Trump in, because he wasn't a politician. But I also don't go the full Trumpian route on it, just because I don't trust anybody. These people are in there. Like, if I go back and one of the things that I've been kind of coming to a realization with and thinking about a lot, and I may be completely off base and whatever, this is kind of me with my tinfoil hat on. Racial division in this country has always existed. But under Obama, it was pushed massively. But the thing is I think that whole division started back under George W. Bush. 9/11 itself brought the nation together so close that it allowed people to see the one thing that Americans could never agree on. The one thing that would hang up and whatever that they could really go after. And it's because of the culture and the history. So if you go after the history of the nation and bring the race portion of it up, you're always going to divide the nation. So with that being the only thing that couldn't be agreed on shortly after 9/11, that's what they began focusing on.
Yeah.
After 8 years of Obama separating people racially, and nobody's saying a thing about it because nobody wants to say that he's a racist, because apparently if you're not white, you can't be a racist. Whatever it is, they kept pushing that division. And this is where it gets tinfoil hatty. We weren't divided enough 4 years ago. So they needed to divide us further to get us to this point where they could completely strip us of all of our rights.
Yeah, they had to break it down.
I mean, the only way to defeat the American populace is to divide us.
Right. In hell or high water, they were going to do it. No, regardless of how well the economy was doing, the greatest thing that ever happened for the Democrats was fucking COVID. It killed the economy, which was the greatest thing that he had going. But it just, I get a headache thinking about it. But you're absolutely right. And what they did was they everything that he said, oh, he's a racist. I asked a friend of mine, he's like, he's a racist. I go, all right, let me ask you a question. And I'm just being honest here. I said, what exactly did he do that made him a racist?
Right. My big thing is that he wasn't a racist when he was shaking hands with Jesse Jackson 10 years ago. He wasn't a racist when he was donating money to the all-black colleges before he became president.
Well, he was a racist when he was running against Hillary Clinton, Nancy Pelosi, and Chuck Schumer. And that motherfucker, I absolutely hate that summit. Yeah, today was the worst day in our country's history. And I'm just like, somebody uppercut that motherfucker and take that goddamn Kunta Kinte thing out from around your neck, you dumb bitch.
They don't even they don't even realize like what that means. Like literally the only people who ever wore those in Africa were the slave owners. Are you fucking that ignorant? Or are you just being that bold and upfront about it?
Yeah.
Like,
well, no, they're just pandering. It's
well, the whole
pure
thing,
pandering. And it's sad. It amazes me that these individuals, they don't see it for what it is. It's pure pandering. And one of the things they don't like, hold on, I got this fucking comb over thing going on right now. Look at this. Watch. It's not supposed to do it. It's supposed to be over here.
that's all right. Hey, at least you got hair up there. Mine's like, I got this like 13 head at
Oh.
this point.
Yeah, sorry. But the whole thing is they're pandering. And I guess that was the other thing is that people couldn't stand that Trump was actually asking you to go to work. Oh, not going, but you're taking away their benefits. No, he's just telling them, hey, listen, it's time for everybody to go to work. There's jobs. There's more jobs out there than there are people. Time to go to work. When people work, people make money. And then what happens is that, here's one M1A2 Abrams, my man. Go ahead with that question.
He just says he wants to see voting reform, 1 vote per person. They could have checked the dang Census Bureau and found out how many people are voting age.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What they could do is just go ahead and say, you need an ID.
Right, voter ID, huge thing. But
but no, that's considered voter suppression and racist.
Right.
See, what's my problem?
Apparently,
I've been really careful about going there in these days. Is that if you do something or you say something that's not in conformance with their agenda, then all I got to do is throw, it's racist. That's all they got to do. They say, it's racist.
Right.
Like you motherfucker, quit using that. They've belittled the word. They've completely changed the determinant what that word stands for. Guys, I grew up in the South. The guy who ran our local junkyard in Mooresville, North Carolina, was the Grand Dragon of the KKK. You want to know about racist? That motherfucker was a racist.
Right.
This little pissant shit they're talking about today is because somebody's little pussy's bleeding. Don't fucking get me started, man. God damn.
Right. It's the truth, though. I mean, anything that you do nowadays is you are an ist, a phobe, whatever. And as soon as I'm an ist or a phobe, I'm done with the conversation because I know I can't convince you otherwise of anything because you're completely indoctrinated and just a complete fucking moron. It's the same thing as Antifa coming out saying we're fighting fascism. Do you know what the fuck fascism is?
Yeah. Hiker Bro, let me explain. You ever look at your ID? On the back of your ID is a barcode, okay? And you go to buy beer in Pennsylvania, they're scanning that barcode so you can buy beer. So what I'm saying is that if you want to vote, let's spend the next 4 years providing people with voter cards, voter registration cards. They want you to carry a card now in some states, getting ready to start, where they want you to carry a card if you've been vaccinated. I say that's racist. Oh no, but it's gonna save a life. Don't get me started with my socialist Democrat boys. This is what they look like. Sitting there.
It's horrible.
It's one life.
Yeah, it's absolutely horrible. I mean, I completely don't even understand it because like like in Wisconsin, we're under Democratic control, but we've got it pretty good because our House and our Senate here in the state is run by Republicans, but I've got family, friends that have gone to like Illinois to go eat, go out to eat because they live real close to the border. And it's like, they get over there and they're like, well, can we eat here? And they're like, if you want to eat in a fucking restaurant, go to Wisconsin. It's like, well, yeah, I'm going to eat in a fucking restaurant. But there's a lot of places.
Illinois.
What was that?
Where are you at in Illinois?
I'm in Wisconsin, luckily.
Oh, okay. So where in Wisconsin?
I'm in the Fond du Lac. I'm in the Fond du Lac area, middle of Wisconsin.
Fond du Lac area. Oh yeah, I know it very well. All right. So used to take the what was the name of the train that used to run back and forth to Chicago, Wisconsin,
The Amtrak?
Milwaukee? The the what was it called?
I don't even remember it. I know it's an Amtrak
Yeah,
commuter
the
train.
Amtrak Ponta Costa or Pocahontas
Yep.
or some shit like that. Oh yeah, man. I actually, just to get off touch here, but I went to my first Green Bay Packer game, and they played Dallas, and it was the first game where Aaron Rodgers started. It was and I was like, when I walked up to the stadium, I was just like, oh, and we drank beer to our heart's content at Brett Favre's Steakhouse, and man, and I was wearing shorts at the time because it was the first game of the season. It was absolutely incredible. But then the snow came in, and being a Southern boy, I flew back and forth every week. So everybody like, "What'd you do this weekend?" Oh, I rode to Harley. You're like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, I know. I'm literally like, I get it because I don't wear a jacket. It's been like 18 degrees here. I think our lowest so far it's been like 5 degrees, or with like a wind chill of minus like 8 or something like that. And I still haven't put a jacket on for the year. I just don't do it. Like if I'm gonna go someplace and I'm planning on being outside, I'll put a jacket on. But all these people who like bundle up really tight and cold, it's like you're going from your fucking car, which is in your garage, to a parking lot and walking maybe 100 yards into a building. Like I can handle that. It lets me know I'm alive.
So I had never experienced the winter up there in Milwaukee, and I was staying about 7 blocks away from the federal building. Okay, and my partner at the time was from Michigan. Where the fuck it was, Pontiac or someplace like that. I can't remember. But anyway, I said, all right, so let's have a cup of coffee and then we'll walk to the courthouse. And so we're getting ready to leave, and I put on my jacket and walk out the door. He goes, "What are you doing?" I go, "Where are we gonna leave?" And we're gonna walk to the courthouse. He goes, "Is that what you're wearing?" I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "No, you're gonna freeze to death." And I go, "What do you mean?" Well, at that particular time, it was like 4 or 5 below zero with a wind chill of like 30 below.
Right. Yeah, then I wear a fleece or something.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. At least a hoodie. And man, we took out every towel that they had in that hotel room. I had socks over my hands and just, and the jacket I had just came down to the waist. By the time we got into the courthouse, dude, my balls were up in my armpits. My legs, my front. Okay, so I've done winter training before.
Welcome to Wisconsin.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, and especially
man,
down there, if you're down on the lakefront right there, that wind just whips through there like nobody's business.
Oh yeah, dude. From my office window, I had a beautiful view of Lake Michigan. It was gorgeous,
Yeah.
And then one of the guys that I worked with, he was like, "Hey man, come on, we're gonna go tubing." I'm like, "Tubing? All right, fine." He goes, "You got your gloves and a hat?" I said, "Yeah." So I knew better, right? We go out, go down to the basement. We get in his damn Suburban. He's got a bunch of tubes in the back. So we go out behind his hospital or whatever, and we're tubing, and we're going out over this real flat area. And we're walking back up, and he goes, "Well, we're on top of a pond, right?" I go, "What?" But my wife is from Detroit. So when we got snow down here in Charlotte, we were the only people with our sidewalk was shoveled. I'm like, "Why are we? This shit's gonna melt tomorrow." God's sakes, woman.
Yeah, I'm more of like, if my driveway, I've got 4-wheel drive. Like if it's gonna be cold and it's not gonna melt, I'll clean it off. But otherwise, fuck it. I'm lucky I live out in a country area, so nobody's pissing and moaning about my driveway. So.
Hillbilly patriot, you lie. I was there. I was drunk, but it was his first start. I swear to God, it was. Are you talking about, was that a preseason game or was that a real season game? Yeah. All right. What do I do for a living? I'm in construction.
Perfect.
Yep.
So I know you travel a lot for your business or for your work. So I believe construction.
It is. No, I'm actually in construction. I worked in many capacities over the years. I was involved in some high level security stuff. Then hey man, the money ran out on that end of things with the company that I worked with, and then I went into the not a private sector, which is not as good as the public sector because when you're working for the government, they do take care of you in really really good ways. But anyway, no, my wife's name is Monica. Anyway, I'm gonna have to cut things off here, man. We've been on here for what, about an hour and a half here?
Yeah,
it's been fun.
It's been fun. It was a good show. I appreciate you coming on and having this discussion. And for everybody who joined in from your side, I appreciate it. It was definitely a good time. I don't want to keep you too long here. Like you said, you got to get going. You got to take care of the wife, do your own thing. It's getting late, I know, for everybody. So for this Wednesday show and this what was supposed to be a pre-record, I appreciate you being flexible and getting involved here. Doing it live with us. For that, like I said, I appreciate it.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. Ashley Babbitt, don't ever forget her name. Let's figure out what happened because I'd like to know. I just don't feel right about that whole situation. I just feel like something happened that somebody needs to pay for that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
There's something that needs to be done and something that needs to happen and hopefully it goes farther than just, oh, she was raiding the building and we shot her. So
yeah, well, no, you're responsible for that bullet, and unless you're being faced with something that you think your life or somebody else's life is being challenged, then you own it. But the Kenosha kid, that's a different subject. Man, I wish like hell somebody's parents would have fucking kept this dumbass at home.
Yep. No, I don't disagree.
I mean, as much as I applaud what he did and all the cool stuff, I just wish like hell he'd have kept his ass at home.
Yeah, like my wife says, she wishes she could just give him a hug. Like the shit he's going through, I don't disagree that it's self-defense, this and that, but the political society that we live in, and I don't want to get too deep into it because, like you said, you want to get going, but that boy was taught something right by somebody, and what pisses me off out of it is the person who taught him wasn't there.
Yeah, they should have never allowed him to be in that position.
Right.
If that was my kid, never. I don't give a fuck how much free love and bullshit they have. How old was that kid? 16?
He was 17 at the time. He's now 18 years of age, so now officially.
17-year-old has no business running around with an AR-15, and I don't give a shit, man. People can call me an asshole or you don't want freedom and everything else. Yeah, let your 17-year-old run around downtown Kenosha while the fucking riots are going on with a loaded AR.
Right.
Not smart, guys. Anyway, that's just me. But if somebody had jumped in there and intervened and told him, hey, why don't you stick your ass at home and play some on the PlayStation or, finish your algebra studies or whatever the hell he's got going on,
right,
his life would be a whole lot different. But they're going to try to bury him. They will.
Oh, yeah. And they're going to do it politically. And like I've told my wife as well as a bunch of other people, I said all these other charges, these straw purchases, the other charges that they have against him, the curfew breaking, they're precedent charges, and what they're doing, and people need to be aware of it is, in the state of Wisconsin, you cannot use self-defense as a defense in a shooting if you are actively committing a crime. So if they can get him prosecuted on either breaking curfew or being in possession of an illegal firearm, automatically his self-defense claim goes out the window.
Well, I think they already got him. They squared him away already on the possession of the firearm.
Well, they can't actually. The possession of an illegal firearm is actually a charge that'll end up probably getting dropped because
I thought it was already dropped.
He can legally own that firearm in the state of Wisconsin, regardless of where he lives. He could legally own it in the state of Wisconsin. Yeah. The straw purchase as well, I believe, was kind of squared away, and that's why now they're bringing up this charge of breaking curfew. So it's all a shit show. And at the end of the day, we need to stand together on this, because standing individually doesn't work, and we all know that. A community, just as today was shown, a large group of people can do a hell of a lot more than a single person can. So if one person would have tried to break into the Capitol building today, it would have ended quickly. Now here we are.
Yeah, Nameless says that it was one of the Secret Service details still in there. And I hate to think that, because I know some Secret Service guys, and they're pretty well versed the firearms. They're not going to let one go without knowing what the hell's going on. But that's just my experience. It doesn't matter. All right, guys, thank you so much. Luke Brand, thank you for having me on, man. This has been a lot of fun. I don't normally get all fired up and geared up for live chats like this, unless it's Tundra Tactical, and then I just feel like spooning with him. But
oh, we appreciate it, and so does the Tundra Nation, because most of the people who come here before were from them. Now I can safely say the majority of the people watching are for you. So I appreciate that. I appreciate everybody who stopped in, and I appreciate, your shout out and getting people here, and definitely it was a good show. I look forward to, maybe doing this again in the future. For anybody who's still watching, we do this typically live Friday night at 8:30. Actually, this week we have Sean from We Like Shooting podcast, so should be another good show. We'll probably cover a lot of the same topics again, but it'll probably be with a little bit more updated information. And again, to Ashley Babbitt and her family, my heart goes out. Just know that what she did was amazing today, and what all those Patriots did today was amazing, and I appreciate it. And for my freedom and my family's freedom, I appreciate it. So with that, I'll leave you. Kota, I appreciate your time. I don't want to hold you up any longer. Again, thanks for stopping by.
Brother, it's been my pleasure, man. Like I said, I love to chat. And just so happens that I'm actually working from home this week, because my beloved better half broke her damn leg. So in any case, you guys be good. Love you long time. Happy endings.
Take it easy. Stay safe. Have fun, and just, don't fucking get thrown in jail for something stupid.
There it is.
All right.